This is called a Dr. Alien wormhole. And if you can believe it, it's a microphone. It's the craziest microphone I've ever used in my life. And I know if you've watched like Sylvia Massey or even Chad Blake on how they use microphones, this doesn't sound like anything I've ever used. And basically you wrap it around the sound source, could be around a drum set. Or on this one, I'm particularly using a bass rig. And you'll have to stay tuned to see what it sounds like. But blew my mind, and now I feel like I can't live without a wormhole. These are some mics that I'm really, really enjoying. These are United Twin 87s. These microphones have a vintage sound and a modern sound of 87s. I'll be showcasing Manny's mic locker coming up where you're going to hear these on drums, and it is exactly what they say. They're really dark, like ELO, old school with the 87 switch on vintage, and then when you put them on modern, it just opens up the upper frequencies. So I can imagine on vocals it'd be really cool. And I'm actually excited because I've heard Back in Black were done with U87s on the guitar, so I'm going to put these on some drums, on some guitars, and I'll be trying these in the future. These are part of the Manny mic locker. United Twin 87s with a vintage switch and a modern switch. This is the Warm Audio Tube 47 Big Boy. Now, they're not paying me to say this, but I'll say on drums in the room, this thing is incredible. For bang for your buck, you can find these between $400 and $600 and $700, and it's a tube mic, weighs a ton. I use this on drum sounds in the room, and I'll be honest with you, I've searched all kinds of expensive high boutique mics to try to get that sound. And it was only with the Warm Audio and the Mojave MA37 and a 1950s Altec Coke bottle that I'm rewarded with the sonicness, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so great. So Warm Audio, ridiculous. This is the Warm Audio W67. I'll be honest with you, this mic, I don't know if it could be called a 67 because I think it's its own animal. I mean, they should just call it a beast, like the Beast mic or something, because its tube is just ridiculous. With a little bit of EQ on the API, you can make it sound close to a 67 with a hair loss in the low end. That's the difference. But when I use this on drums of really great drummers, I cannot tell you a better John Bonham mic setup where you put the mic 2 drumsticks above the snare, 2 drumsticks, you put this above the floor tom, kind of looking down at the floor tom, or there's a ratio of where people like them. If you get 2 of these mics and you use them in a classic sense as a single overhead or John Bonham overhead, or even spaced overheads, you'll be rewarded with a vintage, awesome sound that I wouldn't say it even sounds like a 67. I almost wish they would just rebrand it as the ultimate tube mic on a budget, because it just sounds better than most other mics that are way more expensive than this, and it's really affordable. So if you're broke, no joke, go to Guitar Center, go to Craigslist, $400, $700, $800, go to Sweetwater, buy 2 of them on a low payment thing. You will not be disappointed. And I cannot tell you, of all these mics I have, these 2 mics make me really happy. But the Warm Audio 67s are real deals, and I love them. This is a brand new company called Vanguard. And if you watched the Manny mic locker, you saw me talk about this microphone. So it's a dual capsule mic. Obviously, with 2 capsules, you would have 2 cables coming out, but instead of that, they have a breakout box, which you run 2 cables out of this, and it basically has 1 heavy-duty cable from the mic down to the breakout box. This mic has a movable capsule, which totally, you can go MS, and you can move this any direction you want. What I found out that I really loved about this mic, if you put it in front of a drum set, it sounds super realistic, which means the cymbals aren't louder than the drums aren't louder than the cymbals. It's really balanced. Derek, the owner, had told me that some people have been using this, running different preamps to each capsule, and I was like, oh my God, that's genius. So I did API on one and a Neve on another. I put them on a guitar rig. It was so cool because they're in phase, they're phase aligned. This one was kind of on the outside of the inner cone, and then this was a little bit farther out. And when I mixed it, it was so cool to have a Neve and an API blended together on the same mic. Now, if you're doing vocals, you can run the top mic to a reverb and print it. You got nothing to lose because this one's dry and this one's wet. So if you have a singer and they want something on their voice and they have their favorite effects box or something, run the top capsule into that effects, print it, and then you got your bottom one, which is committed, and it's fine, and they're both accurate and really cool. And I think they really did a great job. Each capsule has its own setting, so I can go cardioid, figure 8 on the top. So if you turn it and make this figure 8, and this cardioid, that's MS, make them both figure 8, and then you get like that XY big bloom sound. Real versatile. Once again, under $1,000. Super killer new mic, and one that I definitely use when I can doing MS or guitars. This is a Lawton 208. It's crazy because it's a handheld, and you're singing it from the top. But it has, once again, like their tom mic, great cancellation. It's a condenser. So if I'm over by my speakers and I want to have someone play with the speakers and I want them to sing in front of the speakers without headphones, this is the mic that you would use. It's so incredible. This mic, I used it on a session where the girl sang in the control room with me, and it was awesome. Like they were just doing a rough, but now that I'm in one room and I want to put a condenser in the room with the drums, I think this is a great option because it just sounds great, it has great cancellation, and it'd be the right mic if someone's singing right here in front of a drum set, and then it cancels out some of the drum sounds. And I did use it, and it's really great. So that's the Lawton mic. This is a new mic, totally usable. Another brand new mic is Palo. This mic blew my mind. It's a Palo P414, which looks like and weighs like an AKG EB, which those have brass capsules and cost, anywhere from $1,200 to $2,200. And this mic is brand new, warranted, brass capsule. I've used it on snare, on guitar, on vocals, single overhead. Outstanding quality, and once again, it won't break the bank. These are affordable. I don't know the cost. I'm assuming maybe between $900 and $1,300. But if you want a high quality mic with multiple mic patterns that you can pretty much put it on any kind of sound source, the Palo, I love this mic. And this is definitely my friend Mike Brodowski at Russian Recordings. I saw him doing the new Deerhoof record, and he had this on the snare. And I was like, dude, I got to get one of these. And so I had used it on the snare the same way. I was rewarded with a wonderful snare track that was done with a condenser, and it just had a lot of character of the drum. So P414 from Palo is a winner. Now here's where things are going to get weird. First of all, it's called an Alien 8. So you're already like, what the heck is this? So an Alien 8 is, once again, this guy, he's got balls. He just got an old design, and the 380 mic that I showed you that was really expensive is figure 8. So what Dr. Alien did is he made a microphone that has a capsule that's figure 8, top and bottom, figure 8, top and bottom. This is in phase, that's out of phase. This is out of phase, and this is in phase. So you have this figure 8, and you put this inside the kick drum, and it's huge sounding. And I use this outside the kick drum and on bass guitar, and it really, for a few $100, you don't have to buy the very expensive Beyer 380. The Alien 8 is awesome. These are out of Australia. He always sells out on these, so if you go online and look him up, Alien 8 or Dr. Alien, buy it if he has them in stock, and you will not be disappointed. And it looks like I'm going to play some drums with these, or shakers, but these are actually drum mics. These are Lawton 308s, condensers, and I know it's going to be hard to tell on the camera, but there's a capsule here and here, and you put these on the toms, and they're incredible. These have been on my toms for maybe close to a year. Prior to that, my favorite tom mics were ATH 230s. If you can go find them, they're cheap, they're discontinued. Maybe you get a drum pack for like $230. They were my favorite mics. But Lawton had sent me out these, and basically after my first session, I sold my ATHs because I was just like, I had to buy these ones. And these ones, once again, I want to talk about making me happy. They make me so happy on the toms. It's set it, forget it. and they're incredible. If you go to YouTube Cardboard Sessions, Swollen Brain, I did them, and that's a really good showcasing of these toms because Eric Gardner did a lot of tom work. I actually have a few episodes coming out where I'm going to be able to isolate these and you can hear them. But Lawton, like their other mic, they spend a lot of energy and time to get a mic right, and they're not necessarily doing it for money, and these are affordable. I think you can get a pair. I think they had them on sale for like $500 for two or something like that. Speaking of bad boys of the Manny mic locker, this is the United 47 FET outrageous budget microphone. I mean, for under $1,000, you get basically a FET 47. And what I love, everybody says, set it, forget it. When I put it in a kick drum, it doesn't matter if it's low, high, it just sounds good. This is also can be used for toms. Elliott Smith, I think, sang into 47, so you can use it for vocals, has a great capsule. I use it, you're going to hear a sample of this on a bass rig. Once again, did not disappoint. Like the Twin 87s and this one, they only make two microphones. The Twin 87 and the 47 FET. This microphone is killer. Definitely look up United, and I have this mic in this locker for a reason. It's killer. This is a mic that I'm about to use. This is a resonator by Plased Audio. I was hoping on this Manny's mic locker I would get a chance to use it, but since I was moving my studio, I haven't had a chance to use it. But I'm doing a cover of Army of Me by Bjork. I'm going to be using this on synthesizer. I'm not sure, but it's called a Plased Audio Resonator B. Really super cool mic. I was only turned on to these by Dweezil Zappa. He had another one. I don't think it was a resonator. He put me in contact with him, so I'm actually excited to use this. Probably Manny Mic Locker 6 will be the Resonator B by Plased Audio. Okay. I know I keep on telling you these are my favorite mics, but this isn't my favorite mic. This is an MA37, which is a copy of a Sony C37. Hands down, if you look at Produce Like a Pro, Hunt Sales, I did a whole song using this on vocals, on the drums, on the guitars. Just, you can walk around the studio and just be recording. Oh, you want to do banjo? You want to do acoustic? You want to do electric? Just put it above the drums, or you're going to sing in it, or you're going to put some violin on it, or you're going to play congas. Like, doesn't matter. This mic just does it all and sounds great. It's tube, and it has that sound when the sound pressure increases. You feel like this mic has character. I can't say enough about the Mojave MA37. I only have one in my life. I'd like to have two, but we'll have to work a little bit harder. So that's the Mojave MA37.